Today, people think marriage is an act of convenience. Many celebrities are living a life which is called as live-in relationship. And today's popular culture is known as hookup culture. That means a man can live with a woman without legally getting married, without having a moral obligation towards the society, without publicly announcing their commitment to one another. So what happens in this is, it is a matter of convenience. As long as it is beneficial for both, they could live or survive together. When they see another person is competing or becoming dangerous, they can leave one another. But the Bible doesn't define marriage as a convenience or a live-in relationship. The second thing is, some people think marriage is a contract. There are business contracts. There are contracts between government and individual companies. So these contracts always have a term that can dissolve the contract. That means the contract is for a definite period and it has a limitation of budget. And even within that period, if one party decides to break the contract, they are allowed to do that with some fine or some penalty. So in that, there is no total commitment. It is only a small or a short-term commitment. So some people think marriage is like that. So they want to get married to with a particular family so that the business is safe or their business improves. Or some people want to have a marriage to keep up the family honor. So that's a contract they want to indulge in. So maybe the parents made a commitment that all our descendants will take spouse from this family. So with that understanding, they make a contract, but it may not be compatible. But what the Bible says is, marriage is a covenant. Covenant means, in ancient times, it is based on a sacrifice. In that sacrifice, an animal is cut and it is made into several pieces, maybe 8 or 10 pieces, put on 2 rows. And the person who is making the covenant has to first move around between these cut animal pieces, having both his hands on his head and saying, if I violate the covenant, I will be killed like this animal. And the next person who is the partner of the covenant also will walk like that. So this is what called as covenant. That means when you violate a covenant, so you will deserve death as the penalty. So that means marriage is a covenant which is a lifelong commitment. So lifelong commitment to one another in the presence of God and in the presence of the community of people of God, that is church. So the marriage happens. So in that covenant, they not only make it as a personal covenant, they make it as a public oath. So that means even the society has the right to question when you violate the covenant. So when we talk about Christian marriage, it is a holy covenant. And some Bible scholars think it is a sacrament, which means it is sacred. It is very sacred in the sight of God. So only in some wedding ceremonies, they have the communion also with that to make sure the couple understand their marriage is covenant as well as a sacrament which they have done in the presence of God. So the covenant cannot be violated. So the result of the covenant is 2 people become one. So the marriage is becoming one flesh, one unit. So they should be completely merged with one another in their attitude, in the mindset, in their lifestyle, in almost everything. So that is the desire of God in the marriage covenant relationship. So may God help us to understand Marriage is covenant. It is not contract or convenience. And help us to have marriage in high esteem in our attitude. May God bless you.